Let's jump right into this explainer. Picture this. You're standing in the thick, swirling incense smoke of a 300-year-old temple. This is Longshan Temple in Taiwan. It's honestly this incredible place where time almost feels like it's stopped. The architecture, the deities sitting quietly on their altars, they've been practically unchanged for 3 centuries. But here's the fascinating paradox we're going to explore today. If you could somehow pause time and just listen to the silent whispers of every single person who stood before those statues over the last 300 years, you'd realize something wild. The gods haven't changed one bit, but the desires, the fears, the heavy hearts of the people praying to them, they have shifted dramatically. To really grasp this shift, I want you to picture a young Gen Z guy. He's earnestly bowing before Zhusheng Niangyang. She's the traditional goddess of fertility and childbirth. His hands are pressed firmly together. He's deep in devotion. Now, if we saw him today, our first thought would probably be, okay, he must be hoping to start a family, right? But lean in a little closer. He's actually asking for something completely unexpected. He wasn't asking for a human child at all. He was literally pleading for his sick pet's surgery to go well. Seriously. He was asking the ancient goddess of childbirth to protect his dog. I mean, just imagine the utter confusion of a 17th century pioneer witnessing this. A fertility goddess blessing a puppy? It sounds almost absurd, right? But this one specific kind of out-of-place prayer, it actually hits the nail on the head. It unlocks the secret to how human nature evolves. So when we look at this rapid evolution of human desires at Longshan Temple across 3 distinct eras, we aren't just glancing at some boring historical timeline. No, we are literally mapping out the timeline of human anxiety. By tracking what people are actually begging for over the centuries, we can see exactly how society transformed, moving all the way from the raw, bleeding edge of basic survival right up to the highly specific, hyper-complex stresses we deal with today. Let's wind the clock back 3 centuries. The Qing dynasty immigrants who were fleeing to Taiwan faced absolutely brutal conditions. We're talking crossing a treacherous ocean, trying to reclaim unforgiving land, surviving sudden, devastating plagues. Their prayers were completely stripped of all vanity. Nobody was asking for promotion, you know. Their core, desperate plea was simply, please just let my family live. Back then, just staying alive and putting roots down in the dirt, that was the ultimate, almost unreachable definition of happiness. But then, decades pass, society slowly stabilizes, Taiwan's economy booms, and people start owning land, building local businesses. Those basic survival needs finally met. And notice what happens to the human mind here. The very moment survival is guaranteed, our prayers automatically get an upgrade. Standing in the exact same spot at the temple, people are suddenly asking for university admissions, booming careers, massive wealth. It's like once we secure our baseline, boom, we immediately start chasing prosperity. Fast forward to today. If you listen to the bustling crowd right now, the prayers reflect incredibly specific modern anxieties. You'll literally see young people asking Yu Lao, the ancient matchmaker god who traditionally binds destined lovers, to grant them a totally different kind of destiny, scoring impossible to get tickets to a pop idol's concert. Or they're praying to the god of literature, not for good grades, but hoping their favorite influencer notices their social media comment. The physical danger of the past is gone, sure, but the psychological pressure? It is enormous. This contrast is just brilliant if you imagine these 2 eras standing side by side at the exact same incense burner. Over on your left, you have an ancient immigrant absolutely terrified of starvation. And right next to them, on your right, a youth in sneakers totally terrified their elderly cat won't survive a vet visit or stressing over missing a concert. On the surface, it looks like they have absolutely nothing in common. One wish feels like life or death, and the other seems, well, almost trivial by historical standards. But hold on. If we conceptually peel back these eras, like intricate layers of paper cutting, we find something profoundly beautiful. We really shouldn't rush to judge that modern youth. 300 years ago, a family prayed desperately for their 6 kids to survive a really fragile life. Today, young people pour that exact same fierce, protective energy into their pets. When that young guy stands before the fertility goddess, he is praying for his family. It is the exact same universal desire to protect the ones we love. And you know, this is exactly why Longshan Temple isn't just some static historical site. It is a living, breathing museum of the human heart. It mirrors exactly what society cares about in any given decade. It actively captures our evolving anxieties and showcases exactly who or what we consider our loved ones. Every single whispered wish in that courtyard is a snapshot of that specific era's soul. So the crucial takeaway from this explainer is this.
While the objects of our affection have transformed wildly over the years, going from a bountiful crop to a corporate promotion to a beloved golden retriever, the deep, terrifying fear of losing what we cherish remains identical. The external world has been completely modernized for sure, but the internal architecture of the human heart, it hasn't shifted an inch. We still love fiercely, and we still desperately need somewhere to put our fears.
But taking a step back, this really beautiful realization also exposes a pretty tough philosophical truth about us. Longshan Temple has silently observed this for centuries. The second one wish is fulfilled, another one instantly takes its place. It's just how we're wired. Human beings are fundamentally designed to seek out the next problem to solve. We are literally never truly finished wanting things.
We're basically trapped on this sort of hedonic treadmill of prayer. Think about it. The ancient wish of, please don't let my family starve, was ultimately fulfilled by modern agriculture. But did humans stop worrying? Absolutely not. New anxieties automatically generated right out of thin air to fill the void. Now we're stressing over unread social media messages and climbing the corporate ladder. Our minds just stay stubbornly locked on the question, what am I missing? And honestly, our anxieties will just constantly regenerate as long as we keep looking outside ourselves for peace. The temple kind of silently reminds us that there's a better way. Look, having goals is perfectly fine, but if we only allow ourselves to be happy after getting what we want, like only after the dog is healed or only after the tickets are bought, we're never actually going to find peace. There is always going to be a new ticket to buy, a new threat to worry about. True stability, that comes when you stop fixing your mind entirely on what you lack, and you start acknowledging the incredible abundance you already have right now. Real peace rises from within, not from the temporary high of a granted wish. As we wrap up this explainer, I want you to reflect on your own life for a second. Think about the desires you've been repeating in your head lately. Are you constantly looking at the horizon, just waiting for the next thing to be fixed before you allow yourself to finally take a breath? I want to ask you, can you consciously step off that centuries-old treadmill today? Instead of asking what you are missing right now, can you look around and finally appreciate what is already yours?